Let's go back to that same little 4-year-old girl. Imagine if she had a different set of parents, or her parents were more aware of what the conditionings or the belief systems or the things that we say to them can do to us. Imagine that same little girl, she's 4 again. She's outside, she's in the dirt, she's playing, she's building the mountain, she's got the little car tunnels. Yeah, she's in a nice dress. And Mum comes out. Mum comes out and she sees her mum and goes, Mum, look what I've made, look what I've made. How awesome is that? And her mum goes, wow, that's so creative. How cool does that look? Wow, you could put little cars under there. And, you know, how awesome is that? Good on you, well done. And then the little girl goes, I'm sorry, Mummy, my dress is dirty. Yeah, it doesn't matter, that's why washing machines were invented. It's all right, in you go change. It's cool. So that little girl then goes off to Grandma's house. That same little girl goes off to Grandma's house. Grandma's served up this dinner. Now remember, Grandma's an adult. Her tummy's a lot bigger than this little 4-year-old girl's tummy, so she kind of forgets how much a 4-year-old girl may actually eat. But she puts the food on the plate, and she just says, just eat what you can. You know it's best if you eat your vegetables, and you know it's best that you eat your best food, your good food. But if you can't eat it all, it doesn't matter. Because when you get hungry in a little while later, you can just come back and eat some more. Okay? And then she goes to school and she's having that same little girl that has problems with the little kids at school. She runs up to the teacher again and tells them of the challenges, and the teacher says, good, come here. And she gets the other little person, come here, and she hops down to their level, as in body height level. And she sits there and she says, right, what's the problem? What's going on? How do you feel? And how can we work on this? And then she gets the 2 little kids to work on the problems between themselves and come up with a solution. Then she's at home, the same little girl, again, she's at home with her brother. And again, she's falling over and hurt herself, and her brother comes up and goes, it's all right, baby girl, come here. I'll kiss it better. Kisses and cuddles make everything better. So let's go 10 years again. So the girl's now 14. Again, she's in the bathroom, she's doing a thing. Mum goes in there and says, come on, darling. She says, oh, I'm just busy in here, Mum. Yeah, that's cool, show me what you're doing. Wow, that makeup looks awesome. Good choice of clothes. Oh, I don't know, maybe the skirt's a bit... You know what? You are so creative in that aspect, I reckon you'd be a great fashion designer. Then she goes round to Grandma's place, all happy. Sorry. Goes round to Grandma's place, she's all happy. She's put food on the plate again for her granddaughter. And Grandma just says to her, you know what, I've watched you over all these years in regards to food. I'm not quite up on all this new organic stuff. Can you teach me? This old-fashioned cooking way is not always best. Can you teach me some new stuff? Cool, that's what she does. Then she's back at home and the brothers bringing around the mates and the girlfriends, and in walks the sister, and he just turns around and says, want to join us? Come on, let's go. So let's go ahead another 10 years. So this woman again is now 24. What do you think this woman is now projecting? How do you think she's projecting her own body or her own self? Is she liking herself?
Everything confidently.
That's right. She's A-OK, isn't she? So she's feeling good about herself. Yeah? She has great body image regardless whether she's thin or podgy. It don't matter. She makes great food choices. Yeah? She's very creative, so she's in a job that she loves. She's doing what she loves because she knows it's okay to be creative. And she knows it's okay to take a risk. And she knows it's okay to speak up for what you want. And she knows it's okay to say no. She knows it's also okay to take different paths if things don't work. What do you think her relationship's like? Her intimate relationship is like? Good, yes. So she's open and she's expressive because she's been taught to do that. She has a great social life because she's been taught to mingle. She's also been taught to make her own choices and to make her to understand her own consequences because she's been taught to figure her own things out. Now, do we want to go down the sex path with this one? How do you think that one is? It's good. All right, so as you can see, we've got the same little girl. She's grown up with 2 different types of self-esteem building beliefs. Yeah? What I want to talk to you about, though, is the fact that we've got nobody to blame in that. It's no right or wrong, because we as parents, we only teach our children exactly how we have been taught. So we only project the best that we know at that particular time with the knowledge that we have. So there's no right or wrong. So you cannot blame the parents, you cannot blame the grandparents, the teachers, the peers, whoever it is that's of the important person in your life at that particular time. We cannot blame them. All we have to learn is to be aware of where it's come from, what level our self-esteem is at because of it, and start to investigate it. Does it serve us anymore? Are we living our life from the belief systems that we were brought up with? Does it serve us in our life now? We need to become empowered and take that back and know and be aware that that's purely just come from that. It's not who I am. So that's where I talk about self-esteem is just about being okay, because when you're aware of that, you're then okay to do something about it. So can I tell you a little bit about why I'm here in regards to that sort of thing? What 4-year-old little girl do you think I was? First one?
The first one.
The first one, absolutely. Okay, so basically my life, I grew up with a father or a stepfather, so I found out at 25 through getting my birth certificate and realising my name was incorrect on it. It wasn't incorrect, I was just somebody else. So I grew up with a man whom I perceived as being my father, a very rigid man, a very, very controlling man, a man who had also grown up from a very controlling father. Okay? My father was very much of the aspect of you have to be the elite athlete, you have to be the best student to be an A-grade citizen, anything less don't bother walking back in the door. So as a little girl, going to school every day was please, 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 do good. Please, 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 be right. Please, 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 don't upset my dad. Yeah? And in high school, it was a matter of going into exams, panic, 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 am I coming home with 100%? So for me, my self-esteem was constantly like, he's never going to approve, he's never going to be happy of me. So I constantly became an overachiever as a young girl. So I was constantly changing the goalposts all the time, going, okay, well that's not good enough, I've got to get there. I did do athletics. And I used to stand at the starting line and used to think, shit, if I come second, why do I bother? But I did. And I did come second a lot of the time. And I did only bring home 98% in my exams a lot of the time. I brought home in year 11 100% in my biology exam, and I walked in the door going, yes, yes, yes. Is that 100%, Dad? About time. Where did my self-esteem go then? Straight down the hole. So I grew up like that, okay? Unfortunately in my life, with my father being as controlling and as unconscious as he was a very angry man, so there was a lot of physical abuse, not only the emotional and the mental. By the time I turned 16, unfortunately, the sexual abuse had begun. I ran away from home. I had nowhere to go, I just ran to the streets. I was so naive to the world that I just didn't know what to do or where to go. So anyway, so I did actually have a male friend who was a little older than myself, who used to work at the local supermarket that I had befriended, and he said, don't worry, come along with me and you can come and shack up with me. Great! This young, naive girl. This was at the age of 16 and a half. By the time I was 17 and a half, I gave birth to a baby boy. By the time I was 18 and a half, by the time I was 19 and a half, I gave birth to a second baby boy. I'd married a man that was my father. I'd married a man that was very controlling. And I'd married a man that was very self-esteem squishing. So it was basically just, do as I say, let's have more children. Yeah? By having more children just kept me at home, just kept me uncreative, just kept me quiet, just kept me low. Is being a mother like that? No way. And should it be like that? No way. Being a mum's great. It's awesome. Unfortunately, I was divorced with that man by the time I was 22. Well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, by the time I was 22, I had divorced that man. Yeah. I then met another gentleman, and I did get married again. And I was married to that gentleman for 15 years. In that time, I had another baby, and she's now 10. We had a great life. Nothing wrong with the husband. It all came from me. I had sabotaged this relationship so much because I didn't deserve it. I had been told as a young girl that unless it was all perfect and wonderful, you're no good. So I had actually sabotaged it. Also at the age of 28, I got very badly burnt. I've got 20% of my body with 3rd-degree burns. So my self-esteem again, as a woman of 28, went straight down the hill. So my self-esteem growing up for myself and as a young woman was just constantly feeling like that it was awful. In 2004, I went across to America. My husband and I sold everything we owned. We sold our business, we sold our house, we packed up the 3 kids at the age of 13, 16 and 3 and went and travelled America for a year, and I hoped that it would ignite something within me. So here I was, a woman. To my friends, it was like, wow, how great are you, how awesome are you, how lucky are you to be doing that. Did you know it was the worst time of my life? I was so depressional, and I actually had a suicide attempt over there. How cool is that I failed? I'm still here. I love being a failure. So that was actually my turning point, and the turning point reasoning for that was that I actually suddenly became aware. I suddenly became aware that I had all this life in front of me. I had a great husband, I had 3 beautiful children, I had a life travelling America. I didn't have to work. We travelled for a whole year without working. Hello? Anyone would want to do that. So why did I suck so much? Why did my life suck? It all came from my conditionings. It all came from the way that the important people in my life had dealt with me. So that was my turning point. That was my complete turning point to say, hey, I'm not living by those rules and regulations and conditions anymore. No way. It's my turn. So that's your first step to rebuilding and maintaining high self-esteem, is just to be aware of where your level or your level of okayness has come from and whether it's serving you, and are you okay with it? So here I am today, standing here in my red shoes. These are my confident shoes. Feeling wonderful about my life. I now pay it forward. I now teach other women how to be aware of their conditionings and where it's coming from and what it's doing for them or what it's not doing for them.